Today, before we dive into the fun and interesting world of warm season turf, I just want to let you know that at the end of this video, I'm also going to give you an update on a grass that I've been growing here at the house. And at this time, I can confidently say that it is the darkest green St. Augustine grass that I've ever seen. And for those of you that have been following along, this will be your 6-month update. So the grass I'm talking about, it's called Viridian St Augustine, and it's a variety developed by the Scotts Miracle-Gro company. Viridian, it's been bred to grow slower than other St. Augustine varieties, and what that does is it gives it a tight, compact appearance that pushes the chlorophyll closer together, giving it that deeper, darker blue-green color. Now, when you walk by my house, you can clearly see how much darker green the Viridian is when compared to the Floratam that I have on the other side of my lawn. Okay, so you heard me mention a key word there, and that word being variety. I mentioned that Viridian is a variety of St. Augustine grass. Over the years of working online with homeowners, one thing I've found is that they confuse the word variety with the word type. So let's have a little fun right now and review some of our 8th grade botany lessons. First off, you will always hear me differentiating between the terms warm season and cool season grasses. Warm season grass is a general term for grasses grown obviously across the south in the transition zone. Typically these are going to be in places where winters are more mild while summers may range as hot as 99 and above. Cool season grass is another general term you'll hear, and these grasses are grown in areas where the summers are more mild. You see, winters, they can be as cold as a frozen Fargo wood chipper, and cool season grass will just lie there dormant waiting for the spring. The doom of a cool season lawn comes during too hot and too humid summers that literally burn them flat to the ground. And that's why you can't grow cool season grasses in, say, Florida or Texas. Cool season grasses, they just have genetic limitations that when exceeded, they'll kill the plant. Now the same goes for warm season grasses, just the opposite. Warm season turf that is exposed to freezing temps and cold winds for extended periods, it can be killed easily over winter. So now let's just focus on the warm season grasses. The warm season grasses that we most commonly find in the United States are Bermuda grass, St. Augustine grass, zoysia grass, centipede, and Bahia grass. Now these are what we call grass types, and here is how they're defined. The term grass type, it refers to a broad category or species of grass defined by its botanical classification, genus, and species. For example, Stenotaphrem secundum, that's St. Augustine grass, or Cenodon dactylon, that's Bermuda grass. Those are distinct types of grass. Each type has general characteristics such as growth habits, climate preferences, or water requirement. All of these grasses, they're known as self-healing grasses because they spread and they fill in bare spots by sending out runners, also known as stolons or rhizomes. Stolons, they creep above ground and they send up new grass blades and new roots to tack down as they move. Rhizomes, they do exactly the same thing, they just do it below ground rather than above ground. St. Augustine and centipede grasses, they spread with stolons only. Bermuda and zoysia, they spread with both stolons and rhizomes, and Bahia grass spreads with thick, slow-growing rhizomes only. Because of this aggressive runner growth and spreading to take ground, warm season grasses, they require a lot of sunlight to fuel them. And as you know, plants like grasses, they take energy from the sun and they convert it to sugars, and that's what fuels their growth. It's called photosynthesis, and warm season grasses, they need all of the sun they can get during these long summer days when growth is maximal. Bare spots the size of a small car will fill in within just a few months if properly fueled with water, sunlight, and nitrogen fertilizer. No seeding required, warm season grasses are self-healing. If you have a warm season lawn and it's thin, right now is the time to be fertilizing every month, mowing often, and keeping it watered. The days are the longest right now, meaning the most sunlight is available for your warm season turf during this time of the season than at any other time. See here on this chart, the days right now are 13 hours and 45 minutes long. Let's compare that to October, when your warm season grass will start to slow down and go dormant. And now you can see that on those days, we're down to 11 and a half hours of sunlight available. That is more than 2 hours less, which means 2 hours less for photosynthesis to fuel the growth, and therefore the lawn, it'll slow way down. Now, the reason I went into all this detail and importance on day length is to drive home the point that right now, your warm season grass wants to thicken up and take ground because it's got the most sunlight available to fuel it. So whether you're thinking about resodding your lawn or you're letting your existing warm season grass fill in on its own, right now is the prime time. So those are the warm season grass types and how they grow best. And then so the next term that you're going to hear is the grass variety. The variety of grass, it refers to a specific cultivated variety or cultivar or subspecies within a type of grass. Varieties are often developed through selective breeding or genetic modification to enhance specific traits like shade or cold tolerance, color. In the case of Viridian, it's got those, plus it's bred for slower growth, and it's also glyphosate tolerant. So let's review. We have cool season grasses grown where there are mild summers, and warm season grasses are grown where there's mild winters. For just the warm season grasses, the most common types found in the United States are Bermuda, St. Augustine, Zoysia, Centipede, and Bahia. And then under each type, we have specific varieties that are grown for specific traits that you, as the customer, might prefer. So back to my Viridian here. This variety of St. Augustine, it was put down in December of 2024, and today, as I make this video, it's July 12th. So one thing I can say is that even in the midst of it being installed in the middle of winter, the Viridian established quickly within just a couple of weeks. It knit together nicely and fully by, say, the end of March, and I had a full lush lawn with no visible seams. This timing would be cut in half if you sodded right now in the summer during the midst of the rainy season. Which, by the way, if you're wondering if right now in Florida is the best time to sod, the answer is yes. We're getting rain every afternoon, which is free and full of magic from above. Water is the #1 most important piece to the success of a new sod install, and right now it's coming down free from above almost every afternoon. Now, if you want to get Viridian for your lawn, which is also available in Georgia, South Carolina, the Gulf states, over and in Texas, I'll give you a link to the Scotts contact below, and what he'll do is put you directly in touch with a certified grower nearest you. Now that we're into the rainy season and the long days of summer, I'm really enjoying that less frequent mowing. And when I say that, I'm still mowing weekly because that's how I like to do it, but with the Viridian, I just don't have to. Here, let me illustrate it for you right here. Floratam, Viridian. These were mowed on Monday, so 5 days ago. So here we go. Let's look at Floratam after 5 days of growth. What is that? Huh? Pretty deep there? Let me show you. You know, so here, let's look. What is this? What is that? Can you see that? Here, let's see. Can you see that? What is that? You'll have to tell me what that says, because I can't. I'm on this. What's it say? Tell me. Well, I just watched the tape. It looks like 8.5, 8.5, and we still have 2 days of growth left if I'm going to mow every 7 days. Like a normal lawn mowing service mows every 7 days. This is already at 8 inches. This is cut at 4 inches. Top setting on my Ego, it's cut at 4 inches. It's already at 8.5, and this is only on day 5. Let's go over here to the old Viridian. Now you can see the difference in color. You can see it from the street out there. It's evident. People ask about it. But let's look at the growth. I'm going to do the old Pfister test first, right? That definitely doesn't look like it's penetrating as deep. Let's take a look. You tell me. Can you see it? Can you see it? What is it? What is it? Looks like, what, 6.5? And this is being mowed at 4 also. I was mowing the Viridian much lower during the winter time, but now that we're in the rainy season, I'm just mowing it at the top setting of 4 inches. And so it's grown 2.5. So you can see in 2 more days, maybe it will have grown 3. It'll be a nice 30% rule following cut. It'll be nice. The Floratam over there, probably gonna be baling hay. The Viridian right here, not baling hay. And if it happens to rain on my mow day in a couple 2-3 days from now, if we get rain, no problem, I can wait. The Viridian will do fine, it won't overgrow. Now, one thing I don't know if you've been able to see it throughout the video, I know I have, is the rain is bringing the weeds. So I'm getting normal broadleaf, just like anything, right? This is my Viridian, you know, lots of broadleaf like that. But then also, look at this, torpedo grass coming in. What else? What else? There it is, my arch enemy, common Bermuda grass, coming right in there. That's of course just one of my arch enemies. I have a whole bunch when it comes to weeds on my lawn, but this area always had common Bermuda invading it. Before it was Viridian, it was palmetto, which was a good grass, but it would get invaded every year by common Bermuda to the point where this whole area completely had to be killed off using 2 very expensive herbicides that you can use to kill the Bermuda in the St. Augustine, but then I had to plant plugs and had to have everything regrow, and then guess what? The next year it all came back again. The nice thing about having the Viridian is, yes, I already knew that the Bermuda, the common Bermuda, was going to come into it, but now I have one herbicide to get. It's called glyphosate. It kills pretty much everything, including all the weeds I showed, including the common Bermuda, including the torpedo grass, which, again, no real way to get rid of those, no easy way. One single tool, glyphosate, gets rid of all the weeds. And of course, now that we're in the rainy season, it's time for me to spray them. And so because this is the only glyphosate-tolerant St. Augustine grass on the market, Viridian, or also called Provista, those are the only 2 that are glyphosate tolerant. But because you can use glyphosate, you can keep a nice, clean stand of St. Augustine grass, which is not possible with the Floritan back there or with the palmetto that I had here before. So very soon here, I'll be making a video showing you how to properly mix and apply glyphosate to spray on your Viridian or Provista St. Augustine grass. That'll be a video coming up here in a couple 2-3 weeks. Stay tuned, subscribe. For now, I do want to point out that no matter what variety St. Augustine grass you decide to plant in your lawn, it's going to have common Bermuda invaded at some point. I recently did a podcast segment where I interviewed a professional sod installer in Jacksonville, and we talked extensively about how common Bermuda gets into St. Augustine lawns all over the state. And really, the only way to ensure that you can spray it out is with Viridian, because that's one of its attributes. Like I mentioned, Viridian is glyphosate tolerant, and glyphosate, it easily kills common Bermuda as well as similar problems like torpedo grass or signal grass that also invade St. Augustine lawns. So what are my feelings overall on Viridian St. Augustine after having it in my lawn here for 6 months? So far, I love it. My primary reason for wanting this grass besides the glyphosate tolerance was that darker green color. St. Augustine grass by nature, it isn't a very dark green grass anyway, so when you get one that comes from the farm already darker green, and on top of that, it loves to be pushed with nitrogen, you get a really nice grass to work with that truly does stand out next to this Floritan variety, which is the most commonly planted St. Augustine variety in Florida. You can see the Viridian is for sure much darker green, and both of these are on the same fertilization plan. So would I recommend it? Yes, I would. Some of you forget, but I've been working with this technology from Scotts back since 2017 when I installed it in my backyard. And then also, over the years, I had it over at the Freedom Factory, and it performed nicely there and looked great before every single race. And now, 7 years later, we have Viridian, the improved version with cold tolerance, built right in, and even deeper, darker color that just makes it truly the darkest green St. Augustine grass that you're gonna get from Florida to Texas or anywhere in between. It's a great grass, and I do recommend it, especially if you have those problem grasses like I mentioned, wild Bermuda, torpedo, or some of the others. So let me ask you, what other variety of St. Augustine grass would you like to see me growing right alongside this Viridian, head to head, to see which one's darker? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you in the lawn.